Okay, have you ever stopped to wonder about the secret, unwritten rules we all follow when we talk? You know, the ones that somehow stop us from constantly talking over each other? Well, today we're going to decode that invisible system that makes our daily chats actually work. I mean, really, think about it. How do we manage this incredibly delicate conversational dance? It seems kind of magical, but it's all thanks to this hidden set of rules we learn without even realizing it. These rules, they're the only thing standing between a nice, smooth chat and just total conversational anarchy. You know, the best way to think about it is like traffic control for talking, right? For cars to move around without crashing all the time, they need signals, they need lanes, and they need rules. Well, conversation is exactly the same. It has this whole system to manage the flow, making sure ideas and, us don't just crash into each other. And this system actually has a name. It's called turn-taking. It's basically the unofficial rulebook we all use to decide whose turn it is to speak, when that turn is over, and how we pass the conversational baton without fumbling it. It's really the fundamental skill that lets us cooperate and understand each other. But what if you're not done talking? You know that feeling when you need just a second to gather your thoughts, but you really don't want someone else to jump in? Well, it turns out there are specific techniques for that. It's called holding the floor. So how do you actually do it? Well, there are three classic strategies. First, you can string your sentences together with words like and or but or so, just to avoid that final sounding stop. Second, you can pause right in the middle of a phrase where it's super obvious you're not finished instead of at the very end. And third, and this is a big one, you can fill the silence. This example here shows it perfectly. See how the speaker uses and and to fill those little gaps? These are these subtle but really powerful signals that basically say, hey, hang on, I'm still talking. My brain is just catching up. And it totally works. It keeps anyone from jumping in. Honestly, these filled pauses are kind of a genius unconscious trick. When you say or you're pretty much holding up a little sign that tells everyone else, please wait, content is loading. It's like your brain's very own buffering symbol. Okay, so turn-taking isn't just about holding onto your turn, it's also about knowing when to pass it along. And a huge part of that comes down to these predictable, almost automatic patterns, a kind of conversational call and response that we do all day long. This brings us to a really key concept, the adjacency pair. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but it's incredibly simple. It's just a pair of turns where the first part creates a really strong expectation for the second part. So one person says something and it just creates this perfect little slot for a specific kind of reply. I mean, just look at these examples. We use these all the time without even blinking. A question expects an answer. A greeting expects a greeting back. When someone says thanks, you expect to hear you're welcome. These pairs are like the fundamental building blocks that make our conversations feel smooth and, well, logical. But what happens when things get a little more complicated? Like, what if you need to ask a quick clarifying question before you can actually finish the pair? Well, that's when we get these little conversations inside of other conversations. This little guy is called an insertion sequence. It's basically a smaller adjacency pair that gets slotted or inserted right in the middle of a bigger one. Think of it like a conversational side quest you have to complete before you can finish the main story mission. This coffee order is the absolute perfect example. So the main adjacency pair is the request, Q1, can I have a latte, and the final confirmation, A1. But hold on. Before the barista can say yes, they need more info. So they start a little mini pair, that's our insertion sequence, asking about milk, Q2, which gets its own answer, A2. Then, once that's all sorted out, they can go back to answering the original question. And we do this stuff effortlessly every single day. You know, these rules are so deep inside us that we usually only notice them when they're broken. The second someone misses their cue, the whole social vibe just feels off. And that's when we really see just how powerful these unwritten laws of conversation are. So let's look at a classic example of this. A woman greets a little girl, Annie. Simple enough. This is the first part of a greeting pair. We all know instinctively what's supposed to happen next, right? But it doesn't. There's just silence. Annie doesn't say anything back, and in that silence, you can almost feel the social expectation just hanging in the air, totally unfulfilled. It's super awkward. And that awkwardness is so real that another person, her mother, immediately has to jump in to repair the conversation. She points out the broken rule, showing us just how important it is that Annie gives the expected second part. And that is the real takeaway here. The rules of turn-taking, they're not just little suggestions. They are powerful social contracts. We expect a hello back, we expect an answer to our question, and when that contract gets broken, trust me, everyone in the room feels it.
All right, you have all been fantastic listeners, but now it's your turn to talk, so to speak. I've got a super quick 3-question quiz to see if you've mastered our conversational road rules. Are you ready?
Okay, first one. What do we call that invisible rulebook, that conversational traffic control system that keeps everything flowing smoothly? Question number 2. That simple, automatic 2-part pattern, like a question and its expected answer. What's the technical name for that little sequence? And last one, when you use a filler word like or you connect your sentences with so just to keep someone from cutting in, what is that strategy called? What are you trying to do? Think you got 'em? Awesome. Go ahead and drop your answers down in the comments section below. I am really curious to see how you all did. And that's a wrap for us. You know, it leaves me with one final question for you to think about. Beyond just talking, what other invisible social rules do you think we follow every single day? Let me know what you think. And thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.